Well, hello Glue Troopers, and welcome back to the TARDIS. I didn't get anything done out here today because I had a whole raft of big grown-up things I had to do out in the real world, and I got to go to work dark 30 in the morning, so I'm going to be gone for 4 days. But I thought, since I had pretty good luck with that Gundam kit on the road, I might try and up my game a little bit. I'm taking a couple of these vintage kits that I was given. I believe these came from Mr. Hamilton. The Siran by, this is the Aoshima kit, and the 1:75 scale Oscar Hayabusa by LS. Now, what I've done for traveling, I deliberately obviously picked simple kits because they're less likely to get damaged. I've put both of them, I've already removed the parts from the runner trees and have them in this box, a little bit of glue, some sanding sticks. Won't be painting them on the road. This is just kind of fit and finish, sand them down, put them together. I probably won't be able to glue the wings on because it will likely get destroyed in transport, but I figure what I do is take a couple of the kits, and I'll have a little bit of time in the hotel rooms with nothing to do and just kind of fitting the parts, gluing together what I can, you know, see what I can do on the road. And I look forward to giving that little experiment a shot. So the door just moved on its own, and it's dark outside. It's the wolves. So okay, now you're getting my attention. What I have decided to do with the Metaluna mutant and the large pink reptilian radioactive beast is I decided that I have actually created a scenario where they are going to be fighting each other, even though I know that this is from this island Earth and this is from the kaiju, Japanese kaiju series. And what I've decided to make the scenario is I'll have them fighting over the base that comes with the large pink dinosaur. The way it's going to work is, if you haven't seen this island Earth, it helps if you go watch that movie. And for a movie made in the mid-50s, it's actually pretty good. It's from a book. But the mutants were about 7 feet tall, 6.5 feet, 7 feet tall, and they were low IQ helpers, but they were biological creatures that were made by the Metalunans to do their whatever jobs they needed, their menial work, including like security work. I'm not saying security's menial work, but they used them as goons as well as doing grunt work. So in the movie, they are, the Metalunans are under attack by another species. I think it's the Zagons, if I remember right. They had some pretty cool looking ships in their own right, although you don't get to see them that well. But at the end, basically, I don't want to, spoiler alert, but their planet falls. But they were thinking about coming, the Metalunans were considering coming and colonizing Earth as a last-ditch measure. They wanted to stay on their planet, but since they couldn't continue to defend it, they finally will go take over Earth. So I figure for the sake of this diorama, which, by the way, when I'm done with this, I think I'd like to send it to Fine Scale Modeler with some detail about it, because they like to see stuff that's a little out of the ordinary, and this is definitely a crossover between this island Earth and the Kaiju series. But in this case, the Metalunans, as their planet fell, last-ditch effort, they sent a specially made giant mutant to help them conquer Earth. Of course, their planet was destroyed, so it wouldn't take place, but the creature was released, comes to Earth in its pre-programmed vessel like it's supposed to, and just follows its prime directive of crush, kill, destroy, which you might remember from an episode of Lost in Space. Crush, kill, destroy. God, I haven't seen that since I was about 8 years old, and I can still remember it. When, of course, Godzilla in savior mode, I'll just call him Godzilla because we all know that's what he is, comes out of the briny deep to fight, because he can tell a threat, so he comes out of the briny deep to fight the mutated giant Metaluna mutant, and then they're fighting over the tower scene and everything. And I've got some angles kind of halfway worked out, since the Metaluna mutant's not quite tall enough, and there's a lot of limited articulation. I'm gonna have to, I don't want to get around to heat deforming stuff, but I might have to, we'll see. But it'll be posed something kind of like this, and get it all painted up and everything. And the nice thing about something like this is you can let your imagination run wild. You don't have to you know, since it's your own story, you know, it's whatever you choose it to be. You can paint Godzilla purple if you want. You can make the Metaluna, he's a different one, so he's green instead of gray, or, you know, you can have some fun with it while staying honest to the genre. And so that's what I'm going to plan to do it. I want to thank Phil again for those kits. That was really gracious. I appreciate it. And you guys, if you know, I'm not trying to be a salesman here, but if you're interested in them, they are out on eBay. Another thing, speaking of promoting someone else's channel, Mike Machat over at Celebrating Aviation with Mike Machat put on another one of his excellent videos. This one's on the making of instruction sheets. And the reason it caught well, all of his videos catch my attention, but this one in particular was, I had just been admiring the instruction sheet for the Waddell Williams Racer from Williams Brothers, which, by the way, I got started on that. I only have started putting the engine together. You know, it has individual cylinders that you put in, which means it'll make it a lot easier to pre-paint the exhaust and the cylinders and then glue them together afterwards. Very detailed engine. I'd heard great things about Williams. This is the first time I actually put a few of their parts together, and it's reminiscent of Tamiya. Excellent fit, just incredible quality. They really did love what they were doing. And they also, as I had mentioned earlier when I talked about the Waddell Williams kit, they of course have this magnificent artwork. I may frame this when I'm done. For decaling and everything, and this is exactly the kind of line drawings and everything that Mike Machat was talking about. By the way, his video is on how instruction sheets are made, and of course they have an incredible fact sheet on the back of it. So I sent Mike a picture that I just happened to have taken that morning on my cell phone, maybe the night before. Anyway, point is that, you know, hey Mike, you were talking about this. I'm going to send him these pictures also. There was another thing that popped up in the chat. I was getting my tires rotated, a alignment problem, everything, you know, the usual stuff. And I'm sitting there at the dealership, or not the dealership, the garage, the mechanic shop, and my brother chats, and we're talking about, you guys had, several of you guys had pointed out that I didn't even give the interplanetary UFO mystery ship / Life Erickson even an honorable mention in the Star Trek video, and I did think about it. So let me explain. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, I keep saying Desilu, and I was reminded by several people it's Desilu. That's how you say it. Desi Arnaz and Lucille Ball. So if I say Desilu, apologies. That's the way I've said it since I was a kid, but you are correct. The originators of Star Trek were Desilu. And Matt Jeffries did design the interplanetary ship / Life Erickson, and they did the glow-in-the-dark and the non-glow-in-the-dark, and was repopped as recently as, I think, 2011 by Round 2, and these things are going for $50 on eBay. I'd grab one, especially a glow-in-the-dark, but to just, oh my God, they've gotten outrageous. But hey, you know, but back to my point, why I didn't include it. Yes, it's a Matt Jeffries design, and he did actually use it in some of the drawings for like the storyboards for the animated series, but they never made it on screen, and they were never marketed as a Star Trek kit, which is why I elected to leave it out. And then my brother made a comment. My younger brother made a comment today while we were chatting that was perfect, especially for the glow-in-the-dark, when he goes, I always thought it was the Gorn ship. I'm like, man, that, they already had the, I don't know if they had the drawings at the time, but that would have been the perfect Gorn ship. It also could have done really well as an Orion ship, because both of the species were green, so the green glowing ship would have been cool, and both of them were, you know, spacefaring powerhouses. And I was thinking, actually, I'm not sure, but I think when I first saw the episode with the Gorn, and given my age, it would have probably been in reruns. And my brother had the glow-in-the-dark kit that was labeled the UFO, interplanetary UFO, or whatever mystery ship. I'm not sure, but I think in my head, because you never saw the Gorn ship on screen, but I think that was what I imagined when it was first, you know, when I first saw the show. Like, and I never saw the ship in my head. I'm just, what does the Gorn ship look like? And I think I was putting that ship in there. And I might have done the same thing for the Orion. And given that the Gorn and the Orion, if you're familiar with the Star Trek universe, those two are powerful and occasionally problematic speakers. And there was one little crossover with them in the television series Enterprise, where the Orion gentleman is offering Archer some ale or something that he says he got it from the Gorn. He goes, the less asked about them, the better. But that meant that the Gorn and the Orion apparently had, even though they were pretty xenophobic, I guess, especially the Gorn, they probably had a little crossover. So that shit could work for both of them. Maybe one of them bought it and made, you know, and sold some to the other, whatever, kind of like the Klingon-Romulan technology exchange. And so if I had thought about that, or that had come up beforehand, I probably could have slipped that in there as this was never official Star Trek canon, but fans often think it could have represented the Orion or the Gorn. But I would have been making that part up. And maybe that was what Matt Jeffries had in mind. We'll probably never know, unless one of you guys knows. If you do, leave in the comment section below. You know how we love to chat about this stuff. And there's one other little tidbit before I sign off for the night. One of the viewers is an artist, and he sent this animation of me. And so I'll send him a few more pictures, and if he wants to do a few more, he wants to help out with the channel, and I'm always glad to get all the help I can. You guys have been magnificent resources for everything. First off, obviously for Cyrene, and also for ideas and for information, and I just can't thank you guys enough. Some of you have offered to help with the Star Trek stuff, and I may be doing some deep dives into a handful of kits, so at that point, maybe I'll get on to you about that. I haven't done any history videos since Estes. I thought about doing Centauri, but they've already got a history video up there that pretty much tells you everything you need to know. And I only launched a few Centauri, I said Centauri, I meant Centauri, whatever. But some of you guys, I was surprised how many of you guys actually worked for either Centauri or Estes and sent me, you know, I used to work there for these years. What you might consider doing is making your own videos about it. Just do an audio over some pictures or something. And if you want, maybe I can help you with it, depending time and work, but that's that. So anyway, I'll be out of contact for 4 or 5 days, and maybe I'll post something on the road, but I don't really think these little videos are gonna be much there, but we'll see how it goes. So once again, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Ooh, stay warm. I mean, they're freezing in Mississippi. Guys, I forgot to mention something. I also was given the Stinson kit. It's a Stinson Station Wagon. And in the movie, This Island Earth, it's either a Stinson Station Wagon or a Stinson Voyager. They look pretty similar. The heroes try to escape in one and get captured, and they use it for their final escape at the end. And I was just thinking that although the scales are completely off, maybe a forced perspective shot or something, I might be able to work this in, not so much of the diorama, but maybe some photographs, because it could be like, you know, the two characters for the movie are taking the mighty Stinson and, you know, flying around while the monsters fight, trying to collect information or something. But I just thought it was interesting that we've got two things that go together right out of the movie. So the Great Styrene River, right? Okay, now back to your regularly scheduled sign-off. So, take care and model on. It is the way.